they're like plagues on Egypt.
Oh, certainly, one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'll see this. That's a very good description, Tamar.
I have it on my blog. I wrote all about it, that these are plagues in America, no less than like on Egypt.
Fantastic.
3 million people had to make an exodus from their homes from the last 2 storms. That's almost half the population of Israel. This is mind-boggling.
That certainly is. It certainly is. Now, what about the people that have lost their homes because the mortgage has, they've gone under? And what about people that are losing their jobs, losing their homes? Now, what happens traditionally and historically? Let's look at history in the last, let's say, since 1492. Even before that, but let's go back to 1492, to the Spanish Inquisition. What happens anytime you have a European or Western country that has Jews there, that has financial difficulties? Who gets blamed? The Jews. All right? Now, look what's happening in America.
That was an easy question.
Oh, okay, that's an easy one. Okay.
It's always the Jews that get blamed. All of our holidays they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. So it's always the Jews' fault. Right, go ahead.
Okay, but now what about the war in Iraq? Listen to the liberals and, what they say. Now it's not fashionable in America, to say some anti-Semitic words. So they invited, they made a new term called neocon. Neocon is, the modern conservatives, the liberal-leading conservatives, but they're talking, it's an anti-Semitic word. Oh, the neocons are at fault. And why Iraq? What do we have to be in Iraq? Oh, that was the United States going to bail Israel out of, the threat of Saddam Hussein. But we don't have to be there. That's what they say about Afghanistan. Okay, so they say it's the Jews' fault because of the financial problem. Sure, look at Lehman Brothers. That was a Jewish firm. That's what led the diamond, the domino fall of Wall Street. Okay, and then here, and then Afghanistan, and Israel's at fault.
And also, let's not forget that all the bankers of the world, they're all Jewish. Right?
Oh, certainly, the Zionist conspiracy. You can see it right there.
Right.
Now, if you take, the scenario is eerie. It reminds very much of pre-Holocaust Germany. When the Jews, they felt fine and dandy. So you say, what about the Nuremberg laws, and what about Kristallnacht? They say, they're dark clouds, they're going to blow over, and this was what's happening. So here we have a template, just like post-World War I Germany. Okay, we have a financial crisis, unemployment, housing problems, foreign, a lot of money being spent overseas. The Jews. Now, take all this and add a few names like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and Louis Farrakhan, and it's not a joke anymore,
and
Tamar.
Perhaps even Barack Obama?
Wait a second. That was the thing. Okay, let's not mention him by name, but suppose people like Jesse Jackson and Sharpton and Farrakhan, that they have a sympathetic ear in the White House, okay, and then add this to everything else. And I want to tell you something else. I was 14 years old, the young boy in Washington, D.C., when Martin Luther King got killed. And there was a rampage. There were riots in Washington, D.C. Rabbi Rabinowitz of Washington, he got killed then. I know a lot of merchants, they got burnt out. They had killed. They were looting and looting and riots and whatnot. I saw this with my own eyes. Washington, D.C., the riots in 1963. Okay? It triggered. And it was no near the type of political and economic atmosphere that there is today in the United States. Okay, so why is Hashem doing all this? We daven 3 times a day, and this is my humble opinion. Okay, Mekabetz, Nidche, Amo Yisrael. We all pray that Hashem will make an ingathering in exiles. Okay, this is a preface to the redemption of our people. Okay, so what does Hashem do when people don't know for their own good to get up and it's not their home, that they should be coming to Israel? Okay, so Hashem prods them, like you use a cattle prod, a little bit of electricity, and maybe to prod them to get up. But people don't want to hear the message. And I think that our brothers and sisters, our beloved brothers and sisters in the West, they have to open up their eyes and take a good, hard look from Emuna eyes, not from material eyes, what's happening. Now, it's amazing. Rashi, when we talk about the 10 plagues, you mentioned the 10 plagues.
You have about 20 seconds.
Okay, Rashi says, what does Hashem do? When Hashem goes against a certain nation, the first thing Hashem does is Hashem slaughters the idol worship of that nation. Now, if the idol worship, they write on the greenback dollar, "In God we trust," they make that their idol. And we can see that this is the idol that Hashem is slaughtering. So if you're staying in America for, physical comforts, for economical comforts, you better think twice. think twice. And
all right, that's the message. Think twice, think Aliyah. And, there's a bumper sticker I heard that's going around that says, Obama is good for Aliyah.
It's terrific.
Rabbi Lazer Brody from Lazer Beans blog, thank you for being with us. www.lazerbrody.net. We'll speak with you next week, God willing.
Take care, Tamar. Bye-bye, Kofi.
Thank you.